Hey guys, Christina and Eric Allen here, Flip My Marriage and Passion Unlimited Counseling. Today we're going to talk about mental illness and relationships. What are your thoughts on that, sir?
Wow. I I don't know. It's challenging because the other person may be going through a lot of ups and downs, and that may not have anything to do with normal struggles of relationship.
hmm
It's kind of like a lot of curveballs, a lot of X factors that come on, and
So it's internal stuff that they happen to be dealing with that has nothing to do with you. It's just their own internal battle, really.
yeah, and it can be a whirlwind.
Yeah,
It can be a whirlwind.
yeah. So is it possible to have a good marriage or a good relationship with mental illness? And I would say yes, but there are some criteria to that, I think.
Criteria to have a good relationship.
Criteria to have a good relationship with that's with any couple with any, but I do think that with mental illness there's more sensitivity, more empathy. For some there's even the situation of compliance, with medications and things like that. So there's a lot of different things to consider when you're talking about mental illness and marriage or mental illness and relationships.
Right. Well, so here's something. The problem comes in. The problem comes in is when that person they don't have a grasp on it.
Right.
And I know that's the big
Right.
elephant in the room when the other person don't have a grasp on it. Now,
It affects everybody. It affects everything.
right. So who's responsible for this? It's kind of like when the baby dropped the milk on the floor. Whose fault is it? Is it the parent or is it the baby? Somebody got to take ownership.
hmm
So that's kind of what you're up against when you have a relationship and someone has an imbalance.
Yeah, because I think the impact that it has on the partner
Mm-hmm.
is can be really, I mean, it can be a heavy responsibility
Mm-hmm.
because you love that person and you're trying to support them, but if they're not taking care of themselves. So I guess it's an accountability for the individual with the mental illness.
Right, and there's so many avenues. It's probably 2-3 part series, but um, so how can I or how can the other person say, hey, you know, we have a problem.
Right, without that
you know,
individual being offended.
We're really struggling today, aren't we?
I think that's a discussion that needs to take place when they're stable. Not in the moment where they're
Well, that's,
maybe unstable or
but
and-
that's
and-
the problem. That's the problem. When is a stable ground? Because a lot of times you expect someone that may not be making sound decisions to sit down and make sound decisions.
but if they're in a stable moment, you can have that discussion. I mean, if they're flipping out, if they're anxious or depressed, they've been in bed for a couple of days, hadn't taken a bath, whatever the case may be, and then here you come like, did you take your medicine? I mean, that's a good question to ask because they probably didn't, but the way you ask it.
But there's no right way to pet a porcupine. There's no really right way to handle it. Like, well, let me pet him on the head. Nah, I can't do that. Let me, there's no right way.
Well, what I've noticed with couples that I work with, and typically it's with depression, and you notice depression pretty easily because behavior changes like over the course of time. Maybe they stop cleaning or they stop bathing or they're, just don't have energy or, things like that. It's hard for them to work that dynamic because it is almost like a third party that's affecting the relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like it's me, you, and depression, or it's me, you, and anxiety.
Yeah. So the question is, how long should I put up with y'all? I mean, somebody gotta go. You, Sally, or myself.
Well,
one of us
here's
have
the
to leave.
deal. You chose to be with me. So
But-
you chose to be with me and depression or me and stress or me and whatever I'm dealing with. Yes. You chose to be with me. Here's the kicker. You chose to be with the stable me.
But But
Is that
yes, but
it?
that's not fair to hold me accountable for somebody I didn't know. You know what I'm saying?
But
It's
that's
like
where
your
it
mother.
comes back to
Well, I don't say
choice.
mother-in-law. But let me do
It's
the
a
mother-in-law
choice.
scenario.
Do you want to stay with me or not? You love me, or you gotta love all of me.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
I mean, you got stinky, funky feet,
I
and they just
I
stink and
don't.
they're funky,
I
and
don't. I don't.
But if you have stinky, funky feet, and I love you, I got to deal with your stinky, funky feet. And then what I would do is try to help you take care of that.
But okay, you know that at the very beginning.
You
Let's
would
say we're hanging
know.
out dating after a workout, something. I kick my shoes out there. Woo! Now you have a choice to go through with that. But let's say we're dating. Oh, she's happy, fine, everything's great, and I call at the right time when you're doing whatever, and then so we get married, and this one couple days, it's like you're a whole different person. Like, what is wrong with you?
Mm-hmm.
Now is it? So how should I? I shouldn't say put up with that, but how do I manage that?
Dang, put up with that.
Well, that's what. Okay, that's what the person is thinking in a relationship when somebody's unstable. You know, that's it. Well, I put up because it's not like you go from stable to more stable. A person goes from stable to unstable. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all remember what's that? Britney Spears when they shaved their head, and Kanye went from, oh, I'm gonna be a pastor, now I'm gonna be the president, now I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and Kim is like, what in the world? What are we doing?
Right. You love them through it.
But yes,
You love 'em
that's
through
the right decision.
But
Well, the right
I mean,
thing to say.
you love them through it. What other option do you have? Either you love them through it or you give up.
So the person that's listening, they need some sound, practical advice. Love them through it.
Mm-hmm.
They need some sound, practical. Love them through it. This, that, and love an alcoholic through it. Love somebody with bipolar through something. Love somebody that's have depression. Like,
I mean,
that
if
sounds
they're
good.
trying to get control of it, now if they're just don't care, don't want to take their medication, don't want to take care of themselves, not even trying, then you have a choice to make for your own mental health.
Well,
But if they want to do better, if they know something's wrong, they're trying to get control of it, love them through it.
I can do that. Let's say it for me. I can do that, but we have to agree that there's a problem.
True.
We have to agree
Yes.
that there's a
You
problem.
have to be on the same page.
And let's go a little step further. We have to understand when these problems occur, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, let's say you have a leaky roof. All right, we know when it rains, don't sit over there because it's gonna rain on your head.
Mm-hmm.
But
So like a plan.
yes, now here's the problem. This is the problem with person with mental health issues. They're not always, when it's going through that manic phase, whatever. They're not always ready to be so cooperative.
Or sometimes they're not even aware.
But we had a plan. We know. All right. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yesterday I was really on one. Da 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 da. So the next time I'll say, all right, we just understand that you have a problem. Da da da. So going into that, it doesn't make any difference if I put on the brakes.
Mm-hmm.
Now I know you're having trouble putting on the brakes, but I need to have a chance to maneuver out of this. So if the roof is leaking and we know don't sit over there,
Mm-hmm.
I should have the right to go sit on the table.
What?
I should have a right to protect myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like the kids in the classroom that's really ADD, ADHD, and they can't be still.
Mm-hmm.
They let the kids sit on the floor. They let them sit on the couch. They let them lay down and read the book. Back when we went to school, you sit on the desk, and this is how it is. Now kids with hyperactivity disorders or whatever, you just flow with them. So the rules change during that time, and that's the problem with relationships. They're not ready. It's tough to bend the rules. Or to be empathetic enough to bend the rules. So if I act a little different to protect myself, the next day you can't be mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what I'm saying? That goes into the pre-planning.
Yes. Yes.
That goes into pre-planning.
But there's some things you can't pre-plan for. So, like, if you all of a sudden go through a life transition and you start going through depression, you know what I'm saying? Like, I can't pre-plan that, oh, Eric's going to go through a life transition and he's going to get depressed.
Well, would you agree that mental health issues has patterns?
Yeah.
So
Sometimes they do if a person has a chronic mental illness, but for someone who doesn't have a chronic mental illness and life happens,
no, well,
then what?
Life happens and mental health issues are two different things.
No. Anybody can go through a mental health
crisis.
Yeah, anybody. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have a chemical imbalance.
Like give me an example of a one time
so like thing. An adjustment, we would call it an adjustment disorder.
Okay.
Adjustment disorder would be you lost your job, and you go into a depression. That doesn't mean that it's gonna cycle back around.
But you know that's coming, right?
No.
All right, Johnny.
How would you know you're gonna lose your job and go into depression?
No. Johnny loses his job. The first day, I lost my job. First couple days he's going out, online trying to get a job. After week 2 or week 3, then it's probably setting in. Now, I don't think it's fair for the wife to come in. What's wrong with you? Get up.
There's a difference between being sad and disappointed and going into a depression.
Well, after month number 3, if he still hadn't got a job,
yeah,
that's my thing, and I think it's big with the conversation. I think mental health issues, mental health crises are predictable.
No.
Not in relationships.
No.
Not predictable. They can be, oh gosh, not warranted, but they can. There are signals that something's coming up.
If you think that a couple needs a crisis safety plan when they get together, is that kind of what you're saying? Like, if something happens and I go into a psychotic moment, we would do this.
No.
I'm
saying, okay, grandmother is about to die, right? Grandmother's about to die, and 3 weeks going into, we know she's about to die. Y'all been close, whatever. We know the grief is coming.
Yeah.
So when that moment happened, I don't think it's fair to like, oh my God, you still crying over her? She's dead.
That's wrong.
That's what happens though. That's what happened. One person feels something, and the other person like, oh my God, this is so unreal.
You're not being sensitive. You're not being empathetic. You have to be supportive of your partner. But I understand, like, if something goes on so long and you're frustrated with it,
like,
but
after a while, it's like,
okay, baby, you've been really down for a while. Maybe we should consider, let's go to therapy.
No, I'm good. I don't want to talk about it. I'm fine.
It's affecting everything.
Okay, but I'm fine. You see what I'm saying? They are where they are.
They are where they are, so I got to get to where I need to get to.
Who, you as helping them?
Yes. It's only so long. Like, you can't go years with somebody.
That's the thing.
Where it's like they don't want help. That's
not
what
they
it's
don't want
hard.
help.
It gets really hard when somebody doesn't want to see it, doesn't care to see it.
So are you blaming the person?
That's their choice.
You being selfish.
That's that person's
sad every day. You ain't the only one sad. That's the trouble of it. That's the tough part. How long should a person?
There's no answer to that. It's up to that individual couple.
Okay, so let's finish up with some steps. What they can do to, I guess, mitigate some of the trouble with that. So we said have a plan, right?
Mm. Especially if you know something's about to happen.
If you know something's about to happen, you know they're about to go through something, like
communicate.
Triggers. Sometimes triggers come up.
Yeah.
Like a reunion's coming up. You're about to see somebody hadn't saw in a long time, and you know that's going to get them going. And here come my sister, or here come my brother, or whatever. You know something's about to go on. You can kind of plan. Listen, we're not going there. Da 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 da. Or Granny's gone. But the times when life changes and they develop something over time, and now this is kind of a ongoing thing. Those are things that's kind of tough. People that develop, or the bipolar is revealed. Mm-hmm. Those are toughest ones because everything's good, but then when it's not good, shoot, what we do?
sometimes, space. You may have to just give each other some space.
Space. If I need space, that means one, don't call. Two, when I get back, don't be mad that I've been gone. That's real space, right? We're talking about the rubber band theory. You know, a lot of people know that. But when I'm gone,
what's the rubber band theory?
Like
people that don't know,
like especially with men, if we need time to go and let me go and get some individuality or time alone or debrief or don't even touch that. Individuality. Alright, so we can, but allowing me to do that, I will come back stronger than ever. Like a rubber band, I will come back stronger than ever. But anyway, that's that. But just giving that person space to say, hey, you know what? I'm kind of protecting myself. Like we said in another video, it's like, you know what? Let me deal, but you have to know ahead of time. You know, like
how do you know
when you're hungry, around 12, when you get hungry, you turn into you're hungry, and I need to know to feed you. I need to throw some things that way to keep you calm. But if you hadn't been fed, if you miss feeding time,
horrible.
If you miss feeding time,
That's
we
horrible.
know it's gonna be rough.
Well.
So that's the thing.
So okay.
So let's wrap this up. It's getting long, but we wrap this up. It's 16 minutes.
Feeding time. All right. It's on me to take a snack, cause I know I get like that. If I don't take a snack, then I respond to everybody around me in a horrible way.
Yes.
And that's not your fault.
Yes, and it's also up to me to prepare a snack.
So it's both of our responsibility because we're both aware.
Yes, but a lot of times you won't know, or you may be too stubborn. Well, I'm good. I don't want to take a snack.
But that's when you're my partner.
I'm going to put
and
something in my pocket.
Back.
Yes, that's good. That's good. But it's just the allowing that person, someone with a mental health issue, and that's the problem of they don't know to put their own brakes on.
Right.
But then they react just as like, you need to know. I'm like,
that's why it's called.
I know. I know.
You know, but it's a balancing act. And I think you guys being able to communicate about it, awareness, read books about it, get a clear understanding, be knowledgeable. I think we hit on a lot of different factors.
Yeah, and last little thing, this is very important. I think it's important for that person not to feel bad that they are going through something. Because sometimes that can push the cycle even farther down.
True.
Like somebody that's depressed or whatever, don't feel so bad that you're depressed. It's just a season, just a moment, you know. And then once you kind of get some confidence about yourself, you have a little bit more strength to put in some preventative measures.
Ooh, preventative measures. Yes.
So anyway, but we don't go too long. But you're right. I think we hit some good points.
Yeah, that I think we did too. So I hope you guys got something out of this one today. I think it was it was good. Thank y'all. Bye.